Happy Monday, folks, and welcome back to MBE Box Office, where we discuss and break down the top 10 best performing movies in the United Kingdom's box office. And Stephen, this is for the weekend of July 26th to 28th, 2019. What do we have at number one this weekend, Stephen?
Number one this week, John, is The Lion King in its second week. It's 10.7 million over the weekend and 37.1 million overall.
And it's now sitting just shy of $1.2 billion worldwide. Stephen, that is just ridiculous performance once again for a Disney classic animation remake, if you like, reboot, rejig, I don't know. Some people would say that it's too much of a remake, shot by shot. We get into this previously, Stephen. I don't think we actually discussed it on the show, any of our shows. I think it was a potential topic which we discarded for another crappy topic, which I subsequently had nothing to say about. But I'll get into it briefly here, Stephen. These people are wrong. Plain and simple, they're wrong. Maybe a shot-for-shot remake, but this is for a new generation of audience goers who will not tolerate the older animation style. And that's proven once again by the success, which we'll get into time and again in the box office, because I think there's a few Disney
considering, John, the buzz, the negative buzz about this film prior to its release, those figures
live action?
Are phenomenal. I mean, I said this last week, you know, I had no issue with the film. I've not seen the animated film in such a long time that going into the theatre was sort of semi fresh eyes anyway. The only sort of thing, and I said this last week, the only niggly thing was the movement of the mouth. It was more human-like, but they have to talk like humans and they'll have to move like humans, I'm afraid. But apart from that, we're getting to the Uncanny Valley. We understand that, but this is the next level of animation.
Oh yeah, and it's not as bad as Cats.
No.
That's just real Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, well,
you can't dig yourself out of that valley.
No.
Impossible.
Definitely not.
But Stephen, you're right. It's the future of animation, CG. I was watching the Corridor Crew guys once again, and they had that sort of a guy who's he's a master of animation and just lighting techniques. And they mentioned, I can't recall the actual name of the rendering system, but they are utilising a new rendering system now, which allows you to perfectly reimagine the way light scatters and whatnot. And you can see it. Obviously, Disney will be at the forefront of this. They'll be tapping into the likes of ILM, who are under that Disney umbrella now. They're the absolute pioneers. We've seen it a few years back with the Jungle Book. Still can't believe that was entirely CG. Utterly mind-bending and incredible accomplishment. And it's really the same here once again. The animals are beautifully realised. The story is just a beat-for-beat sort of a remake, which was fine by me because, like you, Stephen, I haven't seen the movie in so long. I think if I had one criticism, and I think the movie couple spoke about this perhaps in their review, some of the songs don't quite hit off as good as the original. But that's okay. It was the same with the Beauty and the Beast. It's difficult to capture that spirit. But there were certain elements which were beat for beat, and some that I really did prefer in this movie because it is so realistic. And as I said, it's for a new generation anyway.
And they're talking about a sequel now, John, as well.
Perhaps, that would work, I think. If they've got
they're already,
I think there's been 3.
Yeah, well, they're seriously thinking about it, or the wheels are in motion, as far as I know, for Aladdin sequel. So,
but apparently it was a TV show. Which I wasn't aware of.
No,
but Stephen, we shall move on.
Yes.
Because we've done that one to the death, and we have got another 9 movies to speak about. The next movie in at number 2 is another Disney release. It is the Toy Story 4. The Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4, I should say. I shouldn't prefix it. This one seems grossing another £2.5 million over the weekend. Its total gross is now sitting at £52.6 million after 6 weeks.
6 weeks, John.
Astonishing.
That is, and you know, it's another one of these ones that have had a little bit of negative backlash in regards to should it have been made in the first place. I think those figures actually speak for themselves. I liked it. And I said this before, did it have to be made? No, it didn't. But it is what it is. I would have been happy with just Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, but I'm grateful we got a 4th instalment. It was entertaining enough. The new characters as well, I felt, held their own up against the original cast members. Bo Peep coming back as well. Can't remember the actress's name again.
Potts, Annie Potts.
Annie Potts coming back, reprising that role as well, I thought was great. I liked it. Will will I add it to my collection? I certainly will. I've got the other 3, so why not?
Yeah, Stephen, I criticised the story slightly. I felt like the story wasn't quite on the same levels of the previous movies, but then when I actually went back and re-looked at it, perhaps there is some intriguing little allegorical themes going on in there, just about the journey of Andy himself, or Woody, Andy, what am I talking about? Andy's not in this movie. Woody, and just him sort of juggling these existential questions. What is also the being of being a toy and whatnot, having a kid to play with, or is it better being off and not having a kid? When I go back and look at it, perhaps I'm being a little bit harsh in terms of animation and just the action sequences and whatnot, and I got Runch of an ending. It was a pretty damn good movie. Still not as good as Toy Story 3 for me though. But look, Stephen, final thing I'll just say about it, it's now practically breaking into the top 20 of the all-time UK box office. It's sitting at the moment, I think, just shy of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest at number 27. So 2 weeks. And it's sitting there. Is it 2 weeks? I may be talking absolute crap.
6 weeks, John.
6 weeks, Jesus Christ. It's a little bit longer, but 6 weeks in, and it's knocking on the door of the top 20. So that's a damn good success again for Disney.
Yeah, number 3 this week, John, it's Spider-Man Far From Home in its 4th week. It's grossed another 1.7 million over the weekend, and overall £30.9 million.
Yes, Stephen, I really enjoyed this movie as well. Another great Spider-Man movie. I think just about every Spider-Man movie other than Spider-Man 3 in the last 20 years or so has been pretty decent, at least average anyway. This one's a fine collection to that, and certainly a fine collection to the greater MCU.
I would throw in Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well. That was terrible.
Stephen, I've not seen that one, so I can't possibly speak about that. I've seen the first Andrew Garfield one, not that one. But look, just over $1 billion worldwide, so another monstrous success for, I was about to say Disney, actually reading that back in immediately, it's not Disney, it's Columbia, Sony. Sorry about that, but Disney also have fingerprints on it, so it's another success, Stephen. We're going to see this character continuing in the MCU, and I'm so glad because Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker for me. And I just cannot wait to see this character journey and grow and develop as the movies roll out.
I thought it was a bold move as well, taking him away from the cityscape, John, you know, and having a bit of a tour around Europe. It was interesting to see how that was going. Well, it was like the old Nicholas Hammond one was filmed in, I think, LA in the 70s when they didn't have all the skyscrapers as much as they have now, but it wasn't very impressive. But they handled it well. I think all the sequences in this were fantastic. They reminded me of Doctor Strange, a lot of the sequences. Seen this in 3D as well. I think you know, it's something very much like Doctor Strange. It's a spectacle. It's an experience in itself. But Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio was fantastic. One of the best MCU. Can I say this now? It's been out a few weeks now, so he's one of the villains. So, but not just an out and out black and white. You know, villain. He's a lot of complex issues there. We get to see how he became the way he was. Some of those sequences that I think it was a bar scene, John. Once
that was incredible.
Just the whole change in tone, his change in persona as well was fantastic. So just shows you how talented an actor he is. But I loved it. Right
up there with Eric Killmonger for me, Stephen, and obviously Thanos is the ultimate. But Killmonger in Loki is one of the best villains to grace the MCU. Marvel and Disney have been criticised for their slightly lacklustre villains, but certainly they've been up in the ante progressively, and sadly we're not going to see, that's another spoiler, we're not going to see any more of Mysterio, but I can't wait to see more of Spider-Man, certainly, as I did say, Stephen. But moving swiftly onwards, this one is slightly different.
So I think you're going to have to handle this one, John.
I will handle this one, Stephen, because I will out myself as an absolute, I'm not going to say a closet fan, an out and out fan of this chap. It's Andre Rieu's 2019 Maastricht concert, Shall We Dance? Now, Stephen, this is essentially a beanback, sort of a I'm going to say it's not really a live performance of his Maastricht concerts every single year. He goes back to his hometown of Maastricht in Holland.
Are they live beanbacks or are they just recorded?
I don't think they are. I think they're pre-recorded, and then the masquerade has live in the actual theatre. But it's for people who can't afford to go and see him live himself. Certainly not going to Holland. He does a series of live concerts in his hometown in the middle of the square. And this is obviously just him celebrating a new album release, and he does a whole host of new sort of numbers and then older numbers. He's one of the great sort of a modern violinist. He straddles his Stradivarius and whatnot. I've been to see him live five times, Stephen. I'm going again next year. Absolutely love the guy. I love my classical music. I'm a bit of a strange chap. I like everything from Run DMC and the Beastie Boys to the Beatles.
Nothing wrong with that, John.
Andre Rieu. But look, I've been to see one of these things live in the cinema. It's slightly strange. I don't think I'd get back. No. But it's certainly for that older generation who can't quite make it out to the live things. demographic's very much older anyway. There's a few younger people there. But look, £1.5 million, not too bad at all, and you can see why the guy lives in a castle in Holland.
Well, one of the things I get from it, John, obviously I'm not a fan, but I have seen some of his performances on TV, and one thing I do get is a very community feel to his concerts. He gets everyone involved. It does show the focus is not just on him, it's on the whole sort of surroundings as well. You get to see all the audience participation, see how much they're enjoying themselves as well. So
69 as well, Stephen, and the guy's got so much energy. And just the way, you're absolutely right, the way he utilises the orchestra, it's not your traditional orchestra stuffy, sort of upper class, bow tie and tuxedo look. They're all colourful and they've their distinct personalities, and they jump in and do comedic acts and whatnot. So it's a very enjoyable experience. If you're into classical music in any way, love the king of the waltz, obviously Johann Strauss, go and watch this guy. He's good value for money.
Now here's a strange one, John. It's number 5 this week. It's Horrible Histories, the movie Rotten Romans. It's in its first week and it's grossed £600,000.
Yes, and by all accounts it's a rotten film as well, Stephen, because 5.4 out of 10 on IMDb. I've not looked at Rotten Tomatoes. It's a comedy family history film. I'm reading straight from the genre on IMDb. I know nothing about it at all. I'm looking at the cast.
Nick Frost
Kim Cattrall's in there. Kim Cattrall, I think
Derek
that's
Jacobi as well.
Yeah, it's actually got a not bad cast.
Warwick Davis,
Derek Jacobi, you're absolutely right, Stephen. But it's not a movie that I'm going to go and see. I don't know anything about it. It's only grossed 600,000 in its opening weekend. I say only, that's probably pretty good for a movie of this ilk. Doesn't appear to have a wider release out with the shores of Great Britain, so perhaps more British-centric.
Yeah, we'll move on then to number 6 this week, and its 5th week. It's yesterday. It's grossed another £600,000 over the weekend. 11.3 million overall. Yeah,
Stephen, obviously the Danny Boyle Beatles sort of a what-if alternate reality movie. Really enjoyed it.
I was more upset there was no Coca-Cola.
Yeah, no Coca-Cola. Yeah, there was someone else who, but the Oasis didn't exist as well. Because they don't exist if the Beatles don't exist. Because
I'll not lose any sleep over that.
No. I like some of their songs. But yeah, Stephen, it was a great little sort of a romantic sort of I don't want to say drama, I don't know the actual comedy fantasy musical. There you go. And I thought Dev Patel was pretty damn good. I'll try and get her name right this week. Lily James.
Yes.
Perhaps the weakest element of the movie, the romantic side element. But obviously, Lily James' character of Ellie was there to ground Jack Malik, his previous life, the surroundings, when everything was exploding. He could perhaps become big-headed and be lost in the fame. She grounded him, and in the end, that was vital at the end of the movie. I really liked it. I thought it was well written in the main. Not the best I've ever seen, but it was perhaps better than Bond 25.
Well, we'll see. But Lily James, you're right. I think that was the whole purpose of her character. It was to ground the Jack Malik character, just as Ed Sheeran's character was to propel him. Because it's all right having all this catalogue of great Beatles songs that nobody knows about, but you need that platform to sort of boost your stardom, your stature. So it worked well. I liked it, and I liked the songs as well.
$118.9 million worldwide, Stephen. $26 million budget. There you go, getting better all the time.
Yep, certainly is. But we'll move on, John, to number 7 this week. It's Annabelle Comes Home. In its 3rd week, it's grossed another £500,000, grossing $5 million overall. Yeah, this is the next spin-off in the Conjuring universe, the wider Conjuring universe. That phrase, I hate it.
Yeah.
Conjuring
universe. There's only been 2 Conjuring movies, Stephen. There's been 3 Annabelle movies and 1 Nun movie. And every single one out with, I think, I'm going to say the first Annabelle movie was acceptable. The rest have been piles of shit for me. The Nun was a steaming pile of shit. And I really wish they would just do away with it. Apparently, I've not seen the movie. I have no intentions of seeing it. Apparently, I think it was Chris Stuckman says, they're once again pushing these sort of aside paranormal characters or objects to the fore who have no reason to be in the main story of Annabelle. They're superfluous to the main telling of the story, but they're blatantly pushing them in there so they can then utilise them in future spin-offs. I really wish they'd stop it. Just get back to writing really good stories based around the Wardens and the greater Conjuring arc. That's what I want to see.
Yes, it seems to be a focus on building this universe rather than telling a good story. But we'll move on, John, to a film we're both eager to see. It's The Current War in its 1st week. It's coming in at number 8. It's grossed £500,000. Now, obviously, there was a bit of a delay on this film, as I believe.
It was Weinstein, yeah. It was his
the
last...
Weinstein thing, yeah.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. It was the last produced movie from Harvey Weinstein's company before the whole Me Too scandal was outed, and also he was outed for being an utter creep who... just an absolute git, really.
We did a reaction to this, I was about to say years ago. Years ago.
Yeah, it was about
months and months ago. It was a long time ago, and I actually forgot about it when it came round to the full trailer coming out. And once I think the first 5 seconds of that trailer, I went, I think we've seen this before, have we not?
Yeah,
and then you explained to me the reason why it was delayed.
Stephen, also Alfonso Gomez-Rejon is directing. It's got such a really good cast in there as well. The likes of Tom Holland, Benedict Cumberbatch, Catherine Waterston, Nicholas Hoult, Michael Shannon, and the list is nearly endless. I think Louis Ashbourne Serkis is actually perhaps, is he related to Andy Serkis?
I think it's his son, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got such a great cast. It's such an intriguing period piece about this race to invent electricity or be the person who pioneered the electricity into people's homes. It's not something I know much about. I've got no confidence in them telling the proper story because I think Nikolai Tesla has been kind of scrubbed out of existence really in terms of what the role he had in all these different patents and whatnot. For whatever reason, they're just flung that guy to the side, and he's got his fingerprints on just about every single thing you see in the house these days. But look, it's a very intriguing story. I'm definitely up for going to see it. I will go and give this a watch, and regardless of Weinstein being involved or not, I hope it goes on to make a success of itself.
Yeah, I think it will.
Worldwide, I can't get any information because apparently it hasn't got a wide release yet, which is slightly strange.
Yeah, we'll move on to number 9 this week. Secret Cinema's still kicking about. It's in its 8th week. John Casino Royale.
Yes.
Bond, the name's Bond. It's £400,000 over the weekend. Astonishing. And grossing 4.1 million overall in 8 weeks. Unbelievable.
How many theatres, Stephen, is this up to now? I've not actually got information at hand. I'm going to have a quick look. It's still only in one theatre. That is mind-boggling to me that this movie continues to rake in between £300,000 to £400,000 every weekend off of one theatre. 4 million in its total run. It must be good, Stephen. It must have something that draws audiences in. Otherwise, it wouldn't be making the fantastical sums of money that it makes every time there's a new movie.
But nearly another $500,000 in a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For one cinema.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I don't understand it.
No.
I don't know how much money they're charging people. But apparently they utilise a whole host of acting talent to come in and really
apart from develop. The main man.
Yeah, the main man, Daniel Craig. He's too busy with Bond 25. But they envelop the people into this world. You're not allowed to go in with your phone and you have to just succumb to the experience. So,
turn up the tux.
Yeah, turn up clutching a martini.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred. It's very intriguing. It's quite actually.
But listen, John, we'll finish up with number 10 this week in the box office. It's in its 10th week.
Yes.
And it's Aladdin. It's grossed £200,000 over the weekend, 36.8 million overall.
Yes, Stephen, it's absolutely astonishing that we have 2 classic Disney remakes in the top 10, and they have been for a couple of weeks now. We've also got Toy Story 4 in there, and we have Spider-Man as well. As I did say, Disney have been involved in also the creation of that movie to an extent. I think, maybe not, I may be wrong. I think it may be Sony actually. Disney just utilised the creative side of things.
Yeah.
But it's an absolutely incredible performance again for another animated remake, live action remake. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was actually better than I was expecting. I thought with Robin Williams not being involved with the genie, Will Smith coming in, as charismatic as he is as a guy and just as good an actor as he is, I didn't think he could do it justice, but he did. He stepped into the shoes wonderfully. They're setting up for a sequel, as you did say, Stephen, which I'm intrigued by, because apparently there was a spin-off series. So I'm intrigued to see where they go with it. It's grossed another $1 billion for Disney as well.
I think like the Lion King, John, there was these releases, straight to video releases.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to utilise that or not, or they're going to base it maybe on the sort of storylines of the TVCs, I'm unsure of.
Well, certainly they'll do a better job than those probably straight to TV or DVD remakes, Stephen, or movies. So look, I'm on board for it. I'll take more Aladdin. I like the cinematography, I love the music. Thought Naomi Scott and Mina Massoud were really good. Don't know who they'd utilise as a villain unless, is it Jafar? I keep forgetting his name. That's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, Jafar.
Unless he's still alive in some way. I don't know if that's possible. But I'm on board for it anyway. I don't really care. But look, Stephen, that is going to round up this week's episode of MBE Box Office. If you've got anything to say about the array of movies in this week's top 10, you know what you can do. You can comment below and let us know what your thoughts were in the comments section. Like the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content, and you will get more of it if you do. And you'll get both me and Stephen back tomorrow as well with MBE Heroes.